Hi, my name is Maya. I'm with Honey Gems, and this is Jeff. Let's say hi to everyone, Jeff.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again.
Yes, thank you so much for joining in today. In our last video, we discussed opals and their colors. We also briefly touched on the science of optics, which is, according to Oxford Languages, is a scientific study of sight and the behavior of light. Hey, that rhymes. The topic of optics is really a fascinating one, as we discovered last week that the opal color is merely just waves of energy hitting and bouncing off the concentric spherical shells. And what we're seeing is just pure energy. If you missed our video, we have a link down below under the description, how opals get their color. We hope that you'll give it a look. Tonight, we are going to delve into a different type of gem, which is perspective. We will delve into the discovery of how the change of an angle can drastically change the way we look at things. I'm now going to turn it over to Jeff so he can share his take, the difference between having a perspective versus having perspective.
So last week we talked about optics and how by changing the angle that light enters an opal, we often see what appears to be a completely different stone. This week we wanted to talk about how opals mimic life. See, opals take in light, which is energy, and transform it to produce beauty. We also take in energy in many forms: light, food, oxygen, inputs from our environment and those in it. We then process that energy and send it back out into the world through our emotions, words, and actions. In opals, the stacks of silica spheres act as both a filter and an amplifier to produce color and beauty. Within ourselves, experience and perspective act in those same capacities. We experience life events and process those in our own way. We then react and behave accordingly. Our perspectives on the world color how we see life and what we put back out into the world. Oftentimes, for good or bad, our perspectives are limited by our upbringing, limited by the perspectives of those around us, and limited by our own mindsets. Life is challenging. We often find ourselves surrounded by negativity and fixed mindsets, as those often tend to make the most noise in the world today. When we choose a perspective to act upon, how do we know whether we're putting out energy that will make this world a better place or the opposite? You see, everyone has a perspective, but that is not the same thing as having perspective. For the latter, we need to press the pause button and look beyond ourselves to see things from other diverse points of view. As soon as I, as an individual, do this, something almost magical happens. It ceases to be all about me and can then become all about we. My personal concerns and problems fade a bit into the background, and I now have the opportunity to think about the greater good. With opals, the deeper into the stacks of silica spheres the light travels and bounces back, the brighter the color that can be produced, as long as the light waves remain aligned properly with themselves. So it is with us as well. If we dive deeply into other perspectives and remain aligned with our truest selves, the brighter the light and color and energy we can put back into the outside world. The more we all do this, the better this world becomes and the happier and more fulfilled we feel. This is truly a win-win in the biggest sense. So as you go through your day, remember to treat situations like an opal. Turn them, tilt them, examine them from every angle. See what produces the greatest beauty and act on that. See what colors you can then inject into this world for all to see. This is our perspective. What is yours? Oh.
That's a great perspective, Jeff. Now, if I'm hearing you right, the steps that you said was turn, tilt, and angle.
Exactly.
So I have an opal here. So I'm going to do your step, and so that I can see from a different perspective. So I'm going to say I'm going to turn it, tilt it, and angle it. So if guys, you gotta get yourself an opal or a stone so we can do this together. So we're going to do it again. So the steps are turn it, tilt it, and angle it. There you go. I think this is one of our expensive opals here that I have.
And if you guys don't have one to play with at home, contact us. We'll be more than happy to hook you up with one.
Yes. And Jeff is going to show you some other opals as well. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for your perspective in giving us your perspective of having a perspective versus having perspective. And I hope that you all learned something new about the difference between having a perspective, which is one, and then having various perspectives.
So I wanted to show you some of the loose opals that we have available and give you an idea of some of the different types of opals and what they look like. So this tray is largely Australian. I'm just going to kind of pan across to give you an idea of some of the shapes and color that we have available. We have all body tones. We have all sorts of sizes and shapes. We have all sorts of price ranges as well. We can fit any budget. So those are basically all Australian. We come down here, we have some Australian Boulder opals. And move over to Ethiopian Shiwa chocolate opals. Into Ethiopian Willow opals, which are the lighter bodied ones. And then back to some other Australian ones. Some Mexican opal, Brazilian opal. The light's not really positioned for optimally showing these colors at the moment, but I just wanted to give you kind of an overview. And then we have some of our better stuff here with Ethiopian, mostly Australian, a little more Ethiopian, more Australian. And so what I wanted to do is kind of show you some of our higher end opals here. I wanted to start by showing you kind of a difference to give you an idea of the difference in the quality of the color. I don't mean good quality versus bad quality. These are both excellent quality opals, but the one on the left is a Willow opal from Ethiopia, and you can see how the color kind of dances across the surface. I tend to call it crystal ball opal, whereas the Lightning Ridge opal from Australia on the right, the color plays more inside the stone. So it kind of gives you an idea of the differences in the way they look, so you can start to identify them a bit. But I want to highlight some really, really nice ones that we have in our selection. We have some really nice light-bodied Australian opals here. These are from Cooper Pedy in Australia. We have some darker bodied ones as well. Just some absolutely gorgeous colors in here. Beautiful little ringstones. We have some with some more unique colors and patterns and flashes in them. These are also Australian. Over here, some more Lightning Ridge, dark-bodied opals. The one on the right is typically referred to as a picture opal when you have the colorless potch. In this case, it's black potch. But when I say colorless, I mean no play of color running through it. So those are typically referred to as picture opals. Here are some really nice examples of some Ethiopian Willow opal. We have the honey body tone on the left and the more traditional white on the right. Beautiful pattern and color in there. Here's some really nice Lightning Ridge Australian, dark-bodied opal. Another Lightning Ridge beautiful blues and greens in there. These are some of my favorites, especially the one on the right just has amazing color. It looks like glitter with that pinfire pattern. And so opal patterns and opal body tones and things will probably be a topic for another show, because it's important to understand that if you're going to be buying opal, you need to understand how opal is graded and how opal is valued. These are some really spectacular little pieces here as well. Again, some better light. And you can see the pattern, the difference in patterns there between the blue one on the left, the blue-green, and then the multicolored one on the right. Just beautiful stuff. So we have a lot of different looks. Whatever you're looking for, we have opals to fit your needs. A couple more dark-bodied ones here. Picture opal on the left. You can see that black potch again running through it, which gives it a lot of visual interest. And the chocolate Shiwa opals, which just have some amazing pattern and color to them as well. Some very pretty Willow opal, again, Ethiopian. You can see that color dancing across the surface of the crystal wall. Again, Mexican opal. Both crystal opal on the right and Boulder on the left. This is actually some Andamuka from Australia, a different type of opal. Very interesting stuff. So it just gives you an idea of some of the different looks that are available. Again, this is Koroite Boulder opal from Australia, from the Queensland area. Some really interesting play of color in there. There's some gorgeous examples here with the metallic flashes in there. And that ironstone matrix takes a really nice polish when it's nice and hard. Just a couple more to show you with some of those metallic flashes and those colors that change as you angle the opal. Again, perspective. So that gives you an idea of some of what we have available. I'm going to toss this back over to Maya to go ahead and wrap up our presentation this evening.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and take the pictures of the opals and display them on our Facebook page. If there's something that strikes you, just screenshot it and send it to us. We'll also we also post it on Instagram as well. We want to leave you with a quote that says, a change of perspective can change everything in an instant. We hope that you have a great day, and we'll see you next time, again on Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you soon.